What happens if there is a problem with a recurring wire transfer? Have you ever wondered what happens when a recurring wire transfer hits a snag? It can be a bit concerning, especially if you're relying on these transfers for regular payments. Let's break down the common issues that can arise and how banks and credit unions respond to them. One frequent problem is incorrect or incomplete information. If the account details or routing numbers are wrong, the transfer may be rejected or delayed. This is a common reason for transfer failures. Banks need accurate information to process wire transfers successfully. If you change any recipient details, it is important to update them promptly to avoid disruptions. Another issue can be insufficient funds in the sender's account. If there isn't enough money available at the time of the transfer, it simply will not go through. Additionally, banks may place restrictions on wire transfers for security or regulatory reasons, which can also prevent a recurring transfer from completing. Technical issues can also play a role. Wire transfers depend on complex networks like the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication or Federal Reserve Wire Network. Technical glitches or maintenance can cause delays or rejections. Banks usually monitor these systems and may notify customers about known maintenance windows to minimize impact. Security concerns are another factor. Recurring wire transfers are monitored for fraudulent activity. If something suspicious is detected, the bank may hold or cancel the transfer. In cases of suspected fraud, banks might initiate a recall process to retrieve funds, but this depends on the cooperation of the recipient's bank. So, how do banks and credit unions respond to these problems? First, they typically notify customers if a recurring wire transfer fails due to incorrect information or insufficient funds. Customers are then encouraged to verify and update their wire templates or recipient details to avoid future errors. If an error occurs, such as a duplicate transfer or sending money to the wrong account, banks can attempt to recall the funds. This involves contacting the recipient's bank to reverse the transaction. However, once a wire transfer is completed, especially instant transfers, recovering funds can be challenging and relies on the actions of the recipient bank. To help reduce errors, banks often encourage customers to set up wire templates for recurring transfers. This minimizes manual entry mistakes. They may also offer services like callback verification and transfer limits to enhance security. For anyone using recurring wire transfers, it is essential to keep beneficiary information up to date and ensure there are sufficient funds available on transfer dates. Many banks and credit unions provide online tracking tools to monitor the status of wire transfers in real time. This allows for quick identification of any problems. In the case of international recurring wire transfers, additional complexities can arise. Correspondent banks and message format conversions can introduce delays or errors, requiring careful coordination between banks. If a problem does occur with a recurring wire transfer, banks and credit unions work to identify the cause, whether it is incorrect data, insufficient funds, technical issues, or security concerns. They take appropriate steps like notifying customers, attempting recalls, or advising on preventive measures. Keeping accurate information, using bank-provided tools and templates, and communicating promptly with the bank are key to resolving and avoiding issues with recurring wire transfers.